The whole process worked something like this. We went to contest last February, and one of the judges said on her sheet and in verbal comments, you really need to think about taking this group to OMEA convention. I was like, okay, maybe. And I listened to her recording, and it was pretty clean. So I thought, we'll see. And I talked to a few people and my parents. My parents are both musicians, for those of you that don't know. And they were like, yes, yes, you need to do that. So we went through the process of cleaning up the recording and taking off any identifying information. When you submit it to OMEA, it can't say where the school is, who's the conductor, it can't say any of that. So we did all of that, and on July 31st, I was notified that they were accepted. I don't know how many applied. Apparently, it was a fairly large number. And they did say that they were getting questions from people that were turned down as to, well, why did we get turned down? So it's kind of an elite thing. This performance next Friday is for all of my colleagues. It's the OMEA Professional Development Conference, which happens over Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And every hour of the day, there are anywhere from 10 to 15 concerts, sessions that teachers can go to. People will come in and out of sessions and concerts, and the hope is that they will come into ours and stay. But they are all music educators, and they will know whether something is right or wrong. And what makes us unique, and people have said to me before, is I don't know how you do that, is walking away from them and leaving them to their own devices is a lot. It's a lot of trust that has to happen. So we're going to see what happens tonight, and we have 7 more days to clean anything up, but they're doing a really nice job, and they should be commended on the work that they've done, because this process has been long, and we started in August, and you put away some of these pieces for a week at a time, and then you don't know what you're going to get when you bring them out. So it's not possible for us to play through everything in a single class period. So there's a lot of trust that is taking place. You will see that students are announcing each one of these pieces. I did not do I have program notes, but they are taking care of that tonight, because I think it's important that students tell you what they're doing. I think they need to know, they need to be able to articulate that, and frankly, many of these students are in speech and debate, so there's no reason for me to talk when they can't. So, is there anything else I need to tell them about what you've done? No, we do have a big fancy program. I got the second proof of it today, and I'm really excited because it looks really good. So all of you, I will make sure that all of the students have one next Friday. So if you are coming down to see us next Friday, all concerts are free. You can come in, and I would encourage you to do so. Please don't take a program when they're out, and I will make sure that they all have one. I will send out the time schedule in the next day or so, but rough estimate, we're leaving about 8:15, dressed, I think, and moms, we're going to have to figure out something for keeping all of this clean during lunch. And they will go here, CSYO, there's 5 of our students in here that are in CSYO at 9:30. We'll go listen to them together, and then I have outlined what else is happening between 10:30 and noon. That was about they'll have some free choice. The exhibit hall is open to them. They will have participant wristbands. In the exhibit hall is all kinds of things. There are better instruments. There are colleges there you can talk to any college recruiter about what they offer at their school. There are summer camp things. Stanton's Sheet Music has a big, huge booth. There's artwork. There's plenty to occupy them for an hour. So yeah. So yes, fundraiser samples the kids all like, so they can try all the cookie dough and all the things. But that's basically what is happening. So yes, this is a big fancy performance, and they worked hard. So all right, Edie, you're up. I'm done.
Good afternoon, my name is Evie, and I'm a senior member of the Olentangy Chamber Orchestra, as well as one of the orchestra's co-presidents. On behalf of the entire ensemble, we are so excited to be here today. Over the past 6 months, we've worked incredibly hard on our repertoire, and it has been such a rewarding experience to truly dive into these pieces and explore a wide range of musical styles. Today's program includes jazz, classical, and Baroque pieces, as well as a modern piece that was composed specifically for us to perform for you tonight. We aim to create a program that is as diverse as possible, and we sincerely hope you all enjoy it. Through the process of preparing for this performance, we have grown exponentially as an ensemble, and each of us has become a stronger musician than we were at the beginning of the year. Before we begin, I would like to give a special thank you to our director, Ms. Beck, for continually pushing us to be our best and for allowing us to have this incredible opportunity. We are so grateful for her guidance and support. And now, without further ado, please enjoy the Olentangy Chamber Orchestra.
First piece tonight will be the Symphony No. 2, composed by Emile. The composer, Emile, has been called the female Beethoven of her time and was a very creative composer. The Symphony No. 2 premiered in May of 1947, showcasing her bold and dynamic style. It includes dynamic shifts, complex rhythms, and influences from Beethoven performed in her own unique style. It is noted for her bold and creative and stormy nature.
next piece will be the Minuet and Bourree, composed by Henry Purcell in 1679. Purcell was a prolific English Baroque writer as well as a child prodigy. The Minuet and Bourree are 2 of 9 dances written as an accompaniment for Thomas Purcell's play, Good Luck at Last. Our next piece will be the Osprey, composed by Bella Morgan, who is pursuing a degree in music composition and chemical engineering at Miami University. Bella believes passionately in the importance of affordable music for schools, and her first orchestra piece, Odysseia, was performed by Pickerington North High School at the 2025 OMEA Conference. The piece was inspired by the Osprey in the Olentangy High School logo, and flight, bravery, and freedom are the foundations of Osprey.
Next up, we have Adagio Cantabile from Cinnamon Grove, composed by R.Nathaniel Dett. R.Nathaniel Dett was a Black Canadian-American composer, choral director, pianist, poet, teacher, and writer. During his lifetime, he was praised as the first American composer to fuse African-American folk music with European art traditions. In 1908, Dett became the first person of African descent to graduate from Oberlin College, having obtained degrees in piano and music composition. He went on to earn a master's degree from Eastman School of Music. Adagio Cantabile is the second movement in the Cinnamon Grove, a four-movement work for solo piano composed in 1928. Inspired by his love of poetry, the first three movements each include a quote from a different poet and reflect a wide knowledge and eclectic taste. The second movement's quotation is from Rabindranath Tagore, who is the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. Thank you. Next up, we have Atlantis of the Sands by Chris Pilsner. Chris Pilsner is a contemporary composer and conductor who served as a public school educator for 5 years in Colorado. Now a full-time composer and conductor with his own publishing company, he's quickly becoming an established name. Whenever I sit down to start a new composition, I always ask myself, what is something I haven't done yet? For Atlantis of the Sands, this was a desire to combine an exotic harmonic landscape with my own natural obsession for fantastical sounds that came directly from Chris Pilsner. The title originates from the real-life myth of the lost city of Bourree, which is said to have been destroyed by a natural disaster or by God himself. During the 20th century, several expeditions were led to find this Atlantis of the Sands. However, the actual location of Bourree is still debated to this day. His interpretation of the legend relies on his never-ending imagination, where he sees a great city of trade and prosperity tied up in the exciting prospect of an Arabian adventure.
jazz ballad that pushes traditional orchestra students outside of their comfort zone through an expressive melody that is harmonized through chords that are unusual for them. The composer Peter Blair moved from Wisconsin to Florida and realized that the street names are a lot more interesting than they were back in Wisconsin. During his daily commute to work on a street named Ariana, he realized that this would be a perfect title for this ballad.
Our final piece today will be Suite for Strings by John Rutter. As an English composer, Rutter took inspiration from different folk melodies across Britain. We will be starting with the third movement, A Waly Waly, which is from South England and depicts a lament for lost love. Then we will end with the first movement, Roving, which comes from Western Britain. We hope you enjoy the finale to our performance.
Thank you.